Hey guys, welcome back on the Blue Perspective podcast. We got Joaquin here. He has done a documentary on the East Palestine, and he has tons of documentaries coming out. He has two parts of the Palestine, right? The East Palestine, or how am I saying this?
Well, it's funny. Sorry to cut you off because it's Palestine, but it's spelled Palestine, and I would always ask people in Palestine, why is it Palestine, not Palestine? And they go, that's just how it's always been.
Yeah.
So, the last point I want to say about it, whenever I'm talking about this, people think I went to Israel or Palestine. They think I went overseas. And then they're like, oh, dude, yeah, don't you know? Then like they start talking about like Zionism and all this stuff. And I'm like, whoa, dude, that is not at all what I am trying to discuss.
Yeah.
Such a complex topic.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to stir the pot like that. You say the one wrong thing, it's over for your life, because there's a lot. It's complex. And so wait, you're talking about Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Totally different shift from that conversation.
Totally not. Then they're like, oh, I feel so dumb. And I'm like, oh, no, you're an American.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
That's typical.
It's all good.
Yeah. You're coming all the way down from, where are you coming down from?
Well, I live in California. I live in Orange County.
Gotcha.
But I've been doing a little bit of traveling. I was in Texas for a little less than a week, and then I'm in Phoenix less than a week. I'm filming another documentary. Can't really talk about it right now. Probably said too much with that, but it's another topic that's very dear to my heart. And a lot of people were confused about the East Palestine video because I didn't really tell anyone that I was going there. I just did it, and I'm a musician, producer type of guy, and kind of artsy fartsy, and so. Most of my channel is me trolling drunk people on the streets.
Oh, wow.
I wear an astronaut suit. I take a bouquet of flowers.
I've seen that.
And it's my microphone. I'm mainly just like a goofy type of guy. And so people are they're really shocked that there's that deep side of me. And, it's always been there. It's just hidden under layers of irony because if I were to erupt and say how I actually feel all the time, it might be considered unstable or unhinged.
Oh, man.
So actually a lot of my beliefs and values are inside my music if you look and hear hard enough.
Okay.
It also might require me explaining it, but instead of like having these outbursts like I used to have when I was younger, around especially like 2016, 2017, having these outbursts of how I felt, focusing and concentrating, lining up my shots to do it correctly, rather than just acting like Alex Jones and the frogs and all that stuff. Hope that makes sense.
It definitely does, especially with the Alex Jones reference. But speaking of the Palestine, I mean, you did incredible research on this. I haven't been able to watch part 2, but hopefully we can get it explained here.
No, I can absolutely. I mean, hey, I'm not naive to the realities. Like a 30-minute documentary is a hard thing to watch. I mean, everyone has a life and everyone does things. I'm not like, oh, you got to watch it. Well, if someone told me to watch 2 30-minute documentaries, I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll get to that. So I'm happy to say that it is something that you can play on the background. And I'm happy to. So while you're doing chores or exercising, I'm happy to say that's how I design it. Because that's what I do when I'm driving. Listen to whoever, your stuff, other people. Shout out to people like Jimmy Dore and Anomaly. I'll just listen. I don't have to watch what's going on. But sorry for rambling. So the first part is more of like what actually happened and the human impact, and then also a little bit of the failure of these administrative institutions. The second part is a little bit more about the administrative failures and their negligence and blind spots, but also what the chemicals actually were and their effects, and what could be possible if they choose to ignore and push aside and don't take it seriously. And there's stuff coming out every day about how they lied, how the EPA lied, how the CDC lied, how FEMA lied, how Norfolk Southern lied. And just more and more stuff comes out every day. And the third part, I'm still like brainstorming it, it's about a follow-up. The issue is that I don't really want to go out there again, not just because monetary finance reasons, but also, I expose myself to those chemicals. Like, Like my skin, I'm not a hypochondriac. I'm really not, but I felt like my skin tingling at the end of every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
And one video I was watching, it's an article, but this guy who I watch, Jimmy Dore, a lot, he said that there's like half of the CDC workers are ill and sick. Like, and they're only there for what, 2 months at most. They've been there that long at the very most, and they're sick. What if you lived there or you were there the night of the explosion? And I want to take this opportunity, if I can, just to explain what actually happened.
Yeah.
For this, because I was confused until I looked into it.
Yeah.
So, Norfolk Southern is a train company, and they were carrying all these hazardous materials. Okay. There was 16 of them. Okay. And then it derailed. It caught on fire. And it was a whole crazy thing, like, fire. I forget the number, but dozens and dozens of firefighting squads, platoons, whatever you want to call them, just showed up and were battling it for all night. And then that was a Friday night, Friday, February 3rd. And then Sunday, February 5th, they decided the best course of action was to do a controlled burn, which in this case, it means that they blew up the train with all the chemicals inside.
What?
So there was the initial, to reiterate, there's the initial derailment, okay? And then there's the controlled burn that took place after. So two separate incidences, okay? So here's the way that I've learned to understand this, and this is from Dr. Welton, who I interviewed. He works at Purdue University. He's basically like an emergency scientist guy. Like, he's super smart. He has a bachelor's, a master's, a doctorate. He's crazy smart, way smarter than me and my ape brain. Okay, but this is how I learned to understand this. So a chemical catches on fire, and it creates another chemical.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so then that chemical reacts to the original chemical and makes a third chemical. That third chemical catches on fire, creates a fourth chemical. That fourth chemical reacts to the first chemical, makes a fifth chemical. That fifth chemical reacts to the second and the third and the first one, and makes a new chemical. What you're looking at basically is an inverted bracket.
Gotcha.
It goes from like 4 on each side to 2 on each side to 1. You're going 1, 2, 4, 16, 32, da 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 da.
Wow.
So that's what you're looking at. And some of these chemicals, they're there for 1 second. They're there for 1 minute, an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year. We don't know because, like I said, if it's there for a moment, you can't test it because it already happened.
Yeah.
But in the case that there are chemicals that last longer, they outright refuse to test for them. Up until recently, and now we're finding out everything that we would have known, that it's dangerous, it causes chemicals. I like to explain this in a way that helps me understand it with my ape brain, okay? It's basically Agent Orange.
Oh, wow.
And like World War I level chemical gas weapons that is in the water and that was released in the water and the air. That is the only way. That is like the very, very simple man. And you have all these words like hydrochloride and dioxins. And I mean, I got a B in honors chemistry in high school, but I can't, I'm not able to really get much more than that. Like I can't. Yeah, I got a B plus in honors chemistry, and I just I did well, but I can't really tell you.
No one.
Yeah,
no one with the common education can, for sure.
My undergrad was in music business, so
Gotcha.
I can't really begin to like help you understand that stuff.
I totally understand, but no, I mean you simplified it pretty well. Wow, so it went from it derailed, exploded, and then they tried to just totally kill off the whole train, put the train on fire pretty much, and then it just created more chemicals and chemicals and chemicals from the chemical reactions of the derailing.
Right, and so this is a point of contention within critics of this choice to do this controlled burn.
Yeah.
So you asked me the controlled burn.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like I said, it's kind of like maybe more of a civil engineering, chemical engineering question, but again, I'm going to explain it the way that I know how to for myself, which is a pretty simplified, digestible way. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Norfolk Southern, this company, which is in that region of the world, has a lot of political influence and power, a lot. Wow. A lot. Maybe not as much as say BlackRock or Amazon, but but BlackRock actually invests in Norfolk Southern. Oh. We're not there yet. Sorry, we're not there yet. But the point I'm saying is that Norfolk Southern decided that the best course of action was to do this controlled burn. And if you've seen the images, which I'm sure you can just pull up and play right here, whatever, it looks like a nuclear explosion. It looks crazy. It looks like it's a mushroom cloud. It's out of control. It looks insane. Awful. And we're told that that was the best course of action. Now, is that the case? Are we gonna just take the government and this big evil private corporation's value? Okay, let's say for the sake that maybe that was the best case to remove the chemicals. There were other options that are available for you to do. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not the person to go to, but what's funny is the YouTube comments are great on this. They were telling me ways that you could have just done it without there's ways to basically siphon the chemicals to a tanker and drive them off. There were other options. This is what we're understanding. But the reason this is my understanding, okay? The reason why they decided to go through with this controlled burn was because they needed the railroad clear to continue operations.
What?
Yeah.
So they used it for their own. It was like a personal business type of thing instead of trying to think of the community in a way.
Right. Absolutely no regard to the community.
Wow.
Right. And so, some people say, hey, they're Trumpanzees. They're people voted for Trump, so they got what they deserved. Okay, I've heard that, and I've encountered that, and I've seen that. It's in my YouTube comments. It's in my TikTok comments. I've seen that, and if you really think that you are an awful human being, number one, because
that's horrible.
It's awful and terrible.
Human beings.
They're human beings, and people deserve clean water and clean food, regardless of if they disagree with you politically. Where that logic fails is that the Ohio River it gives water to a third of the country. You're talking Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, Missouri. You hit Mississippi, the Mississippi River, and everything down Mississippi, Louisiana, all this, maybe Arkansas, but you're talking about a third of the nation's water is infected with this.
Contaminated with it?
Contaminated, yeah. And so you could, people say, oh, by the time it gets to the Mississippi, it'll be diluted. Okay, obviously that's true, but let's not pretend there's no testing though. We don't know how bad it is. Yeah. Number one. Number two, that's still awful because people use that water for food and crops. So now you're selling beef tainted with Agent Orange. Hello. This doesn't you can say that's just one part of the world, one part of the country. They'll be fine. No, it's not, dude. It's a third of the country. Mm-hmm. It's a third of it, and tangential to this is I interviewed Hilltop Honey Farms. Now, this was a very good couple, and I'm very, very happy that I got the interview. They turned down dozens of interviews to talk to me.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was actually going to ask that about that one too.
Yeah, they did not want to talk to other people. They talked to me because one, I'm personable, and I have I was able to position myself put myself in a position where I just cared. I didn't want to spin it in a way to make Trump look good, look bad, any specific person. I just wanted to say what was going on.
The research and the truth.
And they loved me for it. And they got me some honey. It was so good. It was so delicious.
That's
oh my
awesome.
God. But I think it's a general consensus culturally, memetically, and scientifically that if bees are not doing good, then there's something wrong in the environment.
Yeah, 100%.
I forget the time frame it took place, but almost immediately, half of their bees are dead.
Wow.
Half of them are dead.
That's huge.
Yeah, and God bless these people, man, because that's money and time that they, when that happened, when their bees died, they had less than a month to get ready for the season.
Wow.
So even if $1 million dropped out of the sky, right, and they're able to buy all the bees, right?
Yeah.
They still did not have enough time to replace the boxes that the bees live in, to replace the tools.
Yeah.
And even if another $1 million fell out of the sky to give them the supplies for these things, there's still not enough time to craft it to make everything. So, and I was chopping up with them. I was talking to them, and they were saying basically the scenario I told you, like this money falls out of the sky and they're able to get all this stuff. Okay. So is the water contaminated? Does that mean the flowers are going to be contaminated? Does that mean the honey is going to be contaminated?
Yeah.
It's not just one thing, and that's what made me so freaking anxious about it to begin with. Was just like it's not just one part of the world. There's millions of people, and I'll open up a little bit more. I always talk about this when I bring it up. You know, there's someone that I really care for, someone that I love, someone who means a lot to me in my heart, and it dawned on me sometime around Thanksgiving. Sorry, not Thanksgiving. It dawned on me sometime around Valentine's Day that was her water. That was this person that I really care for, that I really love, that means a lot to me. That was her water.
Oh wow!
And I had like a nervous breakdown, bro. Like I drank a lot. I was trying to hide how I didn't know what to do with myself. Like I was in so much pain. I was flustered. And then I thought, if I feel that way about someone who even at that time we didn't talk anymore, I thought to myself, if I feel that way about someone that I care about and love, then what would someone with grandchildren or parents or brothers or sisters, how would they feel? Like I can't imagine the level of stress, anxiety, depression that they're dealing with. And so that's why I went over there.
Gotcha.
Whew. All right, sorry.
No, you're good. That was awesome, man. You went all the way out there to Ohio, and you interviewed the community as well, as what I saw there. And they were even stating like some of the kids there would have like some type of weird rash, was it, or something like that, and they had I can't remember, but did they have fevers?
Yeah. I'll comment on that. Yeah. So because it's complicated too, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. To be frank, I think a lot of math and science is made up, but that's outside of the point. So I talked to Gregory Marsher, and he had a really heart-wrenching story. This gentleman who, Mr. Marsher, Greg, if you read the comments, people are complimenting that you look like you're 30 years old and you're 61, 62. So congratulations on that. You're a star. You're a Hollywood baby.
Yes, sir.
So this guy, I don't know the lengths of his entire story, but to sum it up is that he takes care of his 6 granddaughters, and he's a good patriarchal figure, and he's a strong man. And in my opinion, the dude won the lottery because he gets to take care of his grandchildren and love them and be like a good role model for them. That's brilliance.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want what he had. I want that. Like, I want to be a cool ass grandpa.
Yeah.
It's
the goal.
It's the goal. It's to retire and take care of your grandkids. What more do you want as a man? What the hell? Forget a Bugatti or whatever. I want to take care of my grandkids. And so that's what he did. He took care of them. And he was great. He coached their basketball team. He's just a good person, like an actual honest human being. And then this happened, and he had to leave with them, and because his granddaughter started getting rashes and getting sick and getting a cough and wasn't feeling well at all.
Wow.
And so, I'm just saying, if you're retired, you don't have a lot. You're on a fixed income. East Palestine's a poor town anyway.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's someone told me you're not going to find a house more than $100,000 there.
Wow.
And it's you leave, and then you're basically scraping by like what you're able to make, what you're able to get while you're out there not working. And so a lot of these people have to come back. Like, there's no choice.
Yeah.
And so now this gentleman, Greg, now his family's getting split up because obviously his children don't want to raise their children somewhere they can get sick. And the gentleman's heartbroken. Like, and he didn't do anything. It's not like he derailed it. Like, he told Norfolk Southern to ignore all the safety precautions. These people didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Once a chaplain said that sometimes you choose adversity. In this case, like I chose to go out there. Like I took it upon myself. Other times, adversity chooses you, and that's the people of that town.
Most definitely.
And not everyone has gotten sick or felt ill in a way. But You know,
Still heartbreaking.
It's still heartbreaking because you don't know what the testing is just now getting done. Like it's been almost 2 months and it's just now getting done. That's unacceptable, bro. That is unacceptable. And the fact that there's this merger. There's this weird realm where private companies and big government overlap, and it's like, hey, I was there at the press pit. I saw which media groups walked in with the head of the EPA. I saw it. It was an independent journalist. Wow. It was CNN. It was MSNBC. It was those people. It wasn't, maybe there was even a Fox News guy, but it wasn't people like me. It wasn't people who decided just to go. Funny story about that. I'd love to tell you about this. This is hilarious, if I may. So I found a photographer to help me. I like to get behind the scenes photos just to, makes it look cool and get to see like what's going on.
Most definitely.
So I hired a guy, and we're walking around town trying to get some shots, and we see that the city block or the main street is blocked off.
Wow. What?
And just so you know, it's like your neighborhood from this end to that end. That's about the length of the of downtown. It's just really small. It's just really, it's a small town. So we're like, oh, okay, cool. And so we're peeking, we're poking, we're like, okay, no one's here yet. And I ask a camera guy, when's it setting up? He goes, oh, I think it's gonna be like at 1. I'm like, all right, bet. So we get told there's something at the school. We drive to the school. It's like invite only. Okay, whatever. We go back to the spot, and I tell my friend, shout out Jared, I tell him, hey, bro, we should just go and set up our cameras there.
Nice.
No one's gonna. We should go and just like put our cameras there and just walk back later. So we went, plopped it down, the tripods, walked back, went to the coffee shop next door, mind my own business. I swear to God, minding my own business.
Yep.
And in walks the head of the EPA. And I'm like, dude, do you know who that is? He's like, no, that's the head of the EPA. Get your camera out. And so we're videoing, right? And this guy checks us, like, who are you guys with? What are you guys doing? And the entire time, me and my guy were like, bro, you walked into us. We didn't ambush you. We're minding our own business. We're drinking coffee. We got like an hour to kill before we go into this presser. Like, we're not doing anything. Like, we're here, what's that meme of sitting, thriving, and moisturizing in my own land? That was us. We weren't doing. And in walks the head of this guy. And in walks the head of the EPA. It was just funny. And then after that, we broke and went to the presser and just walked in with the cameras. No one said a thing.
Oh, wow.
No press badges or anything. The important thing is looking like you belong, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I feel, it's something about my pigmentation that helps.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Yeah, I think that there's something about that. Because it looked like I belong. I had this cool-ass bomber jacket on. It looks like I know what I'm talking about, know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I asked him a question. I asked him who gave the authority to destroy, to light it on fire, to the control burn. And he diverted to the mayor. Maybe not the best question I could ask, because obviously he's been asked that a few other times. But
I can see the passion and from the research. You really put a lot of effort into it, and it came beautiful. I mean, we got like 47K. Push on the video thing so I can see the stats on that. Don't play the video, but push underneath.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, 47K views in 2 weeks.
And it's one of the funnier comments I read was like, a bomb like this dropping from an account that has 400 subs.
Yeah.
Actually, it was 104 subs when it dropped, by the way.
There you go.
It's crazy.
I know, now you got 503. That's crazy.
Since when? Oh, shit. Okay, I didn't know that. My bad. YouTube analytics be funny.
I know. It's always backed up. It never tells you the accurate information. It's like 48 hours later, I think. But
that's true.
man, what were we talking? Where were we at?
I don't even know. Probably about the head of the EPA.
Head of EPA, and you went and you asked the mayor about the controlled burn, and then that's where I think we ended.
Yeah, that wasn't the best question I should have asked. I don't know what it was I should have asked, but it was tensions were high, man. People, these are real people, man. These are people who have families and children. One lady I talked to, Carly Tuno, thank you again, Mrs. Tuno, for agreeing to talk to me. She has 3 boys, and she said she's worried about her kids getting sick, and that's entirely justified worrying about that, because they didn't they basically refused the test. For clarification, they did test, but they tested like a very general, like a generic test
Wow.
you would do anywhere, and totally just ignored what was on the train car.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some shiesty, confusing things because it's like, why would you not test for the chemicals on the train? Almost as if they didn't want to admit that these chemicals were on the train to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending on who you ask, it's they play kick the can. Oh, it's Biden's fault. It's Pete Buttigieg or Trump or Obama, whoever fault it is. Like I'd probably place more blame on Norfolk Southern and the union busting that happened late last year. But the point of this video I shot wasn't to pin blame.
Mm-hmm.
You can go all the way up and blame lizard people. That's not gonna fix.
It's not gonna solve anything.
It's not gonna solve anything. You have to go out there and help these people get stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Give them clean water, food, and all this stuff. And that just wasn't happening. Like the media wasn't covering it. They refused to cover it. Now, was that because they're running water for Uncle Joe, Jim Crow Joe? Maybe that is the case. But whatever the case is, it needed to be talked about.
Yeah.
And you can blame anyone. That's not important. What's important is, one, making sure it doesn't happen again,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately fixing it. Holding the people accountable who did it, that's important. But getting those few things done first. And it also speaks on the lack of infrastructure that we have in this country.
Yeah.
You're never going to convince Americans to give up their cars. That's fine. I think it's crazy to want all electric cars.
Yeah,
it's insane. It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
But obviously, because of all the different train derailments that have been happening, there is time we have a hard look at building this infrastructure. I don't know if this is accurate, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm that type of guy. That if I'm not mistaken, some of these trains, the railroads, are from the Civil War.
Wow.
So, and we just refused to update them.
Yeah, we don't advance in that type of industry at all. Like we did cars, planes, and then we just go off of that technology, but we don't focus on the trains, on how they should be, updated, or at least more technology to them.
You're going to find, for basic infrastructure like that, and roads and trains and highways, who are you going to find? Obviously these people exist, but that's like a non-political issue. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's not like no, I want trains to derail. Like, who says that? Like,
yeah.
Conservative, Republican, Democrat, Liberal. Who says I want more of that? No one says that.
No one. Yeah.
So that's why it's even more aggravating, because it's like simple solutions that you should have.
Want to at least put some effort into putting more technology. We have all this AI. Might as well take those type of brains and go straight into something that could help us. Because there's been a lot of derailments right now. I got like a little map. If you could push that map, Daniel. On here too, there's been from 1975 to 2022. I guess not 23, but there's been a lot of derailments, and we obviously haven't fixed the issue.
Yeah, if golly, that's 48 years. If I did my math, I'm bad at math, but that's a lot of.
It's a lot of years.
That's a lot of years of just ignoring the problem, kicking the can down the road, and even recently, like there's been all these crazy train derailments, and my mind wanders. Yeah. My mind wanders about that. Is it the lizard people? Well, it's. I remember one time I had a good friend tell me that just when evil's done, it's not done by humans, because humans care even about their own progeny. Did I say that? Their own children.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is. I don't know. At the very best case, best case, it's total incompetence. Mm-hmm. Best case. The worst case is it's controlled and done on purpose to target specific communities or more specific infrastructure involving water and food. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. My mind wanders though, because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and especially one after the other.
Yep.
Like you think that after the second or third or fourth or fifth, 100th time that it happened, you would be like, hey, bro, we got to do something because this isn't working.
Yeah, there's a problem here. Like, let's get something going.
But we don't see that.
Nope, not one bit.
Crazy, bro. How else are people going to fix that puzzle up? Because the government and private corporations don't address it. They ignore it. At the same time, within not even a week of the derailment and burn in East Palestine, you had the Secretary of Transportation joke about weather balloons and not even at all mention the frickin' the train derailment at all that happened. It's like and this isn't even like a political thing. Like if it was, like a dude who was right leaning, let's say, he should be getting the same level of criticism. No one's above criticism just because you're in government. Let's not forget, government should work for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, we're in a topsy-turvy world, but like people, you can criticize someone. Let's say, like example, the Secretary of Transportation.
Yeah. You
can criticize someone like that, like him, and it's not homophobic. People will jump to that immediately. Oh, you're being homophobic, and there's some people who are jerks and are mean and rude, and some people even go as far I'd say even evil with what they're saying. But,
yeah, 100%.
But you can criticize someone, and it's not because you're a bigot. It's because your granddaughter's skin is peeling off.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree.
Mic drop. Sorry, I didn't even mean it like that. My bad.
There you go. No, it's so true because right now they're putting no concern into it. They're still. I mean, it was like maybe a 2-second window of where the media really captured what was going on there. Obviously, your research has been the most viewable and most accessible research we could find because I'm not seeing it on CNN really. And when I did, it was very little information. They were like kicking the can, like you were stating, on all the other news articles and whatnot. So the fact that we can't even address the situation where, like you said, it's taking 1/3 of the country's water, how it's affecting the fish there. If it's killing the fish, what is it doing to the people there?
Oh no! Hey, here's your tinfoil hat, bro. You're getting out of control, bro. Yeah, I mean, it isn't. Why? I'm very blessed that I went there and I had the opportunity and all the people I met and the experience. I basically had, I want to say, like a year's worth of character development in a week.
Nice.
It was really hard, man. It was really hard. Even after, like, I had an episode of psychosis. Anyway, I had a mental breakdown. Anyway, but why is that? And okay, something like that to that length. Why was that left to me? And I'm not saying like, oh, look at me, I'm great, but it shouldn't take a dork from California to go out there to do it. Like the government immediately there should be the ones doing what I'm doing and having this as a report. Quite frankly, what I recorded and released and filmed and financed and produced and edited, this shouldn't be on YouTube. This should be being screened to the president. Like this shouldn't be available. This should be like, Mr. President, this is what's happening. This is the hard truth.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's I put it on my YouTube channel where I have music. I have a song titled Flat Earth. I have an anthology remix album. I have a music video with a giant monkey stampeding through a town. Like it's crazy. Like why is it that I'm the one to do it? It shouldn't be someone like me. But also on the flip side, it does take someone with character and the ability to think and process and manage it. If you've ever edited video, you know how hard it can be. I did not have a storyboard. Okay, I don't believe in storyboards.
There you go.
I'm kind of joking. I'm kind of not. My media teachers hated me for this. I hated storyboards. I just did. Yeah. Sometimes it's required, but it was complicated to put the pieces together, man. It was like a moving jigsaw puzzle / pool table.
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, I gotta. Oh no, there. And what I'm saying is citizens have not just the rights but the obligation to care about their country and do what's right. So in that aspect, I felt to some extent it was my responsibility to go there and do it because no one else was willing to.
Yeah, you had a calling, man. That's awesome that you went out and actually produced such a great research video. Honestly, this documentary is amazing, and I have to see part 2 because it is amazing. But yeah, like you're stating, man, we don't understand why the government, why even media outlets aren't making their own documentaries or their own just research on this. Like they're really not. They're really putting any attention. It's still affecting the people now, and it's going to continue to affect the people. It's going to affect them for we don't know. That's the problem.
We literally do not know, and we might not know ever. And that's the hardest. Excuse me. That's the hardest pill to swallow. Is that we might. Like how long does it take for medicine to get approved? It takes years for like a medicine to get approved.
This is like a COVID-19 vaccine.
I don't know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
I see that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, generally medicine takes years to get approved, and that's like fixing up someone. What if there's the opposite? Like people did. Let me give you a real good example of something real quick. It's kind of related to the first thing you said. What you comment about. There's a thing called formaldehyde, I think it is. I'll have to look up how to spell it. But it was a medicine that the military gave pregnant military wives to stop them from throwing up, having morning sickness.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's normal to have morning sickness because it's that's how nature and God created it. But okay, they took it. And their morning sickness went away. Unfortunately, when children were born, they actually had like horrible disfigurement, like short arms, like actually no arms, just hands, and no legs, just feet, or like maybe they had arms, but it was like here, cut off at the elbow, or it was short. And some people and some children were born. One instance I know of, and I know this because a family member. And not like a distant family member, like a direct family member. They're born without a butthole.
What?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was possible.
It's not.
It's not possible.
No, but because the medicine made that happen.
The medicine made that happen.
And so this is kind of graphic. You might want to put this on your Patreon. This is gonna be kind of graphic. But basically, the girls could survive because of the way their body was made.
How?
But the boys couldn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so and eventually they took it off the market, right? All this and that. But how that relates to what I'm saying about this is that, that pulling of the medicine only came after the results. Like, oh, these children, they're being deformed. What is it? And that's what's going to happen with this, the chemicals released in East Palestine. Mm-hmm. We won't know what is happening until
the results come
until after it happens. And I said earlier, it's kind of like Agent Orange, right? Mm. There's stories of Agent Orange and the effects it had on American soldiers in Vietnam. It could skip a generation.
Yeah.
So your children, and for example, Vietnam veterans of the Vietnam, God bless them, they came back after getting hit with Agent Orange. Told that's fine, don't worry about it. And then their children were fine, but then their children had children, and then they were deformed. It affects like your genetics, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. There's known knowns and known unknowns and unknown unknowns.
Yeah.
We are now venturing into the unknown territories.
That's scary.
Sobering. Sorry, let me drink some water. It's water, not alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm sober for 2 months. Probably gonna try and make it a year and a half.
Yeah, no, for real. It's bad right now. Yeah, the fact that we're not going to be able to know the results because, one, we're not putting any effort into having research be done. I mean, it's not looking like we are. I mean, the only research that we had out was, I mean, from what you're saying, the Purdue, like he kind of explained it a little bit of what's going on. And he doesn't even know the full effect because he's probably not in hands-on duty with them, right?
Well, he's Dr. Welton is probably the realest motherfucker out there. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna give it to him. He's an OG. I'm gonna give it to him. He was out there the day that I met him, and it was crazy last minute, dude. Like I flew out on a Sunday night. I got to Pittsburgh and at like 5 a.m, 6 or 7 a.m, I forget, and then I'm driving my car out to meet him in East Palestine or to go to my hotel, and the car has an issue, and I had to drive back and swap it out and get a new car to drive to my hotel. But something happened with my reservation, and I had to make a new one. And then when I showed up, I was just like, I must have looked like a maniac, bro. I was so angry and upset and dirty, and I haven't showered. But then this guy, this crazy motherfucker, was out there collecting rain samples.
Wow.
Yeah, he was out there. He was in the trenches. This guy's in the trenches.
He's trying to.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Samples like the water from the rain, from the dirt, the water with the dry dirt, so it's not contaminated. You know, because he's a scientist, so he knows like you need control groups and whatever.
Yep.
So like he's gathering all this stuff, so he knows how to do it. And I didn't know that. I wish I would have recorded him taking some samples. Yeah, that was kind of an L, but we'll make it up. And I went to so this is where the story gets kind of more sentimental, but okay, maybe I shouldn't say all of that, all what I want to, but the person that I cared for, that this was affecting, like why I was anxious. She didn't live close to there. That's just her water.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I found out that the Ohio River is right there by her home, and that's her water. I didn't know that before. I just knew that it would have, gone.
Affected
yeah, but I eventually saw that's the water.
Wow.
And then I saw a Norfolk Southern train driving by next to the river, bro, like parallel to it.
Wow.
Parallel to it, bro. And then I remembered again that all these people that I interviewed were telling me this could have happened anywhere. Yeah, this could happen anywhere. And we obviously back to the gosh darn train derailments.
Yeah.
Right. Like it can happen anywhere. It literally happens freaking anywhere, and that did not help my anxiety at all, bro. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
that just like exponentially increased it.
Especially like you said, they kind of from like corrupt corporations and stuff like that. I mean, it's risky, and it's you can't trust and put in. Yeah, you just basically can't trust those type of companies, especially ones that could affect the atmosphere, especially controlling chemicals in there. Like that is a scary thing to imagine and even live through right now.
I mean, let's not pretend that a company like Norfolk Southern or BlackRock or Amazon or whatever like mega corporation that doesn't pay taxes because they use loopholes, which I may or may not be a good thing. I'm still on the fence, but their interest is their dollar. Let's not pretend like they actually care about anything, and that's also kind of evident in how corporations like them, but also you can use good examples like Chase Bank or like military companies. What's the main one? The missile company, Boeing, stuff like that. Yeah, how they pretend that they care about people because they use social justice warrior causes to like mask, what they do. It's like Target, Starbucks is the same thing. It's like they don't really care about those communities. They're using them as camouflage and cover to go ahead and do more evil things. And because if you really cared about it, where's the donations and where's the results of it, which they don't really do. So let's not pretend that any big corporation like that, it actually cares about its people. They care about the people so much that they get money from, but other than that, they just don't care. Yeah. And it's a shame that this little town that didn't do anything, their biggest sin was being in the way of the train. That was their sin. That's what they did. And
yeah, and like you mentioned, like where are like the donation companies or whatnot that are trying to help the people over there? Like you see it everywhere for different countries, but like when it comes to something like in our own, like you're saying, like this might be just to where they're trying to cover it up, not put so much attention on it because that company did screw up, and now the people don't get any benefits or don't even get any help. Like I haven't seen any donation centers or donation online things. I mean, this probably is out there, but they're not being promoted like if it is Ukraine right now. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
I know, but what's going on, dude?
So I do want to say that it does feel that our priorities are not in order. It looks that way and it feels that way. Now, is it actually that way? I'm not going to comment because I don't want to. And it's not because I'm a coward. It's because that's not as important as the next. I want to say something that's more important to me. Okay, so you have all these people, all these AOCs, all these leftists, these people who are generally liberal or leftist, Marxist, whatever. All those that group, that political side of the compass. They're entirely silent about this. Entirely silent. Maybe recently they have not been, but when it happened in like the immediate aftermath in a week, 2, 3 weeks, the only ones talking about it, as far as I knew, were fat, greasy, slimy neckbeards on 4chan. That's how I learned about this. Why am I getting my information from this part of the world that has like weird car dragon hentai? Like, why are these the people that are telling me about this? Why is no one else doing it? And to that point, like these people, they don't comment. They're not. And I do think it's something about the fact that who was affected are, white, conservative, Trumpanzee. I do think there's a little truth to that. Now, how much? I'm not going to say because that might upset some people or upset people not enough. But I think there is something to that. But I also want to say that, like we talked about earlier, it extends past that. And if you just care about environmental issues, this is horrific.
Yeah.
It's horrific, bro.
Yeah, why isn't exactly if we're talking about environmental issues, why isn't this a huge thing like it's supposed to be? Like you would think that a lot of the activists that are for the environment would be on this like crazy. Like what's that one little girl's name?
Your girl Greta.
Yeah. Where is she at?
And it's so. And
why do you pick and choose? It doesn't make sense to me.
And I would not even be as worked up about it if they even like embedded Trump into it. Because in my opinion, as long as you're talking about it and trying to help them, that's fine. And by the way, I'm not a Trump fanboy. I'm just using that for an example that people like, just embed issues into stuff that's unrelated. You know what I mean? Like if they blamed whoever they want to blame for it, it's fine as long as you get the main result, which is helping these people.
Yeah.
But even the conservative side, they're kind of they're neglecting it now too. It seems.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And it's like this circus show going on of Uncle Donnie getting indicted and facing 130 years, which. There's a certain level that I think we should realize that politics and pop culture, the Trump indictment thing, once that happens, and there's a level where politics and pop culture blend, where, it's like, are you for Trump getting indicted? Are you against Trump getting indicted? And that's more, and this is not a criticism of him or his followers. That this my next train of thought is not a criticism of Trump or his followers or people against Trump. What is a criticism of is the context, not the content. Okay, the context where it's like a WWE match. It's like you're for him or against him, rather than did you know in Arizona there's all these voting laws that they're trying to pass that would help stop voting fraud or that would help with voting integrity, or that there was a large union bust in late 2022 that probably caused in some aspect the train derailment.
Wow.
Or do you know how much like the recession we're looking at, which might turn into a depression?
Yeah.
How BRICS is just like America's losing its purchasing power and military power all over the world because we spent trillions of dollars attacking, blowing up schools, roads, streets, homes, hospitals, when other countries are using that same amount of money to build it. So, this isn't a dig on Trump or his supporters or his detractors or anything. It's just, let's not pretend. Let's focus. Let's meditate 5 minutes each day. Reflect 5 minutes each day. Let's write some notes down. You feel me? Let's come down to earth. Let's touch grass. Go outside. Don't eat seed oils. Okay. And just, Just enjoy, be and think and actually reflect on actions before you take them. Whew, okay, goddamn.
I 100% agree. We're so in tune to Trump's indictment, which we should in a sense, because it does look like it's more coming from a different. This is coming from something bigger and larger than it's looking like. But in the same aspect, we have so many huge problems that we need to address right now, like this second, and try to at least talk about it. Like, let's have a conversation of what's going on, like what you're saying. But instead, we're so distracted by politics instead of the effects of what could happen to America in the next couple of years right now.
Next couple of months, it feels like, man. I don't even shoot. And yeah, I do think that the indictment is, I try not to get too deep all the time. Or sorry, I actually can't not be deep. Okay, I have to look at it through a spiritual, religious, or even
Me too.
Mimetic narrative. And so, what are the odds that this is? I'm not comparing one person to the other. I hate comparisons like that, but it has to be before Easter. Like, come on now. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, it's got to be right now. Like, do you want Trump to, like, you are? It's like, I don't want to say it's done on purpose. Maybe it is done on purpose. I don't know, but it's so.
The devil
obvious.
plays his games, man. The devil plays his games.
It's so obvious, bro. Like, you're doing it right before Easter, bro. Like, what do you mean? Like, why would you, like, and do you think that like demoralizes his base? Like, do you think that his base is gonna look at that like, oh, time to give up?
Hell no.
Or do you look at it and be like, oh, it's time to do more? So it's like, what do they want? What's the point? Like, what is the point of it? And yeah,
I mean, I guess the point would only be to go out after the people that are on the edge or already hate Trump to add more fuel to the fire. But I mean, the administration that's in place now already made their own fire and screwed up themselves. So it's so bad to the point that Trump it's leveraging Trump right now. I mean, even people that disagreed with him back in 2020 is on the side of Trump now. Like, it's like insane of how much it's changed over the couple years. So now it's like they know they should know that it should be a landslide, even though it kind of was back in 2020.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So it's a bunch of jungle freaking mix up right there, and that's where we need to also step back and concentrate on the stuff that's happening right now, like you were stating. Like, yes, the indictment is huge, and we should have place of journalism to place that as well. But we also need to have, like, Fox to say a little bit different stuff, or CNN to say a little different stuff, as in, like, what's going on around worldwide for the United States, like you were stating earlier. But and that's where it's like kind of sucks to the point where we can't trust any of our outlets, or the outlets are always trying to distract us from this and that and the third or whatnot, and we don't have, like, consistent basis of what we need to know, like of the derailment of what's going on.
Yeah, I wanna comment just on one thing about you said it gets people more riled up against Trump, where it's like, if you drop, let's say, a bowling ball out of an airplane, it reaches, like, critical speed. Like, it can't, like, the most it can go, right? Like, the most speed it can go, and then it just goes that speed forever. Yeah. That's what I feel like a lot of anti-Trump people are. It's like, you can't. What more can you do to make them hate him more? Like, you hate everything about him. You think he's fat, ugly, dumb, stupid, or racist, sexist, big. Like, what more could you possibly add to make
them hate him more?
Well, and hating them more, does that make your vote count extra? Or does your vote only count extra?
That top speed's already top speed, so I don't understand where they're trying to go with
what's the term for that? Where it's like the most, like, I'll have to look it up. Like, the most speed it gets.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, does it make your vote count more? Or maybe if you were dead, it would count more. So I want to talk about. You said something about, like, the independent journalism thing. It's eventually I would like to go and have a Patreon and make it my full-time job, but.
Hey, it takes time, man.
It takes time. I'm building that. I think I can show that I'm capable of doing that. And so, any good sponsors out there, please think about it. I also want to say that I got Kentucky rainwater.
Kentucky rainwater.
So I got it was raining in Kentucky when I went. my last day in the area, and I got some rainwater
Oh wow.
to test if it's filled with chemicals.
Yeah, if it's been
So, but I haven't tested it yet. Haven't found anyone yet to test it. So it's still in a vial in my home. Do not raid my house, FBI.
I know now.
Get 'em!
Get 'em. For real.
A local journalist and conspiracy theorist, the octo squid, was gunned down for refusing to give up contaminated soil.
And that's one article right
Yeah,
there on
yeah,
Instagram.
that's dope. That's extremely dope. I'm excited for that to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe not the death. I won't die, obviously, because I'm the main character.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
But I think, what's crazy is I posted about this, and there were people in Ohio that didn't even know what happened.
What?
Yeah, bro. On God, bro. On God. People were like, I didn't know. I never.
Wow.
I didn't know that I live here. And I'm thinking, well, there's something where maybe that's reflective of them not being up to speed, maybe. But I think it reflects more on our media institutions not being reliable and not being good. I mean, I have friends right now who are being smeared through the media. I mean, we have a friend, we have mutual people like MJ who's just his name's ran through the mud, and it's
100%.
like these institutions are at worst stupid. Oh, sorry, excuse me. At best, stupid, and at worst, malicious and evil, and ran by lizard people. I don't know. I don't know.
Whatever to say.
Yeah, whatever you want to say.
But yeah, and it's crazy. They're going after the littlest people. Like they go like he came on and he was talking about this too. He was saying like it's like not like in a way Nazi Germany or even Stalin. Dang, I can't say it right now.
Stalin?
Stalin. Yeah, Stalin. There we go. Stalin. It's like a Stalin type of concept right now, to where they're going after the littlest of people. And if your neighbor snitches on you, let's go get him. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous right now in these times and days. So it's like that it's such a bad time to live in when it comes to like information, when it comes to our governmental system in general, and the justice system right now is ridiculous. But in the same token, we need more outlets. Like if you're able to create that Patreon, we're definitely gonna promote it.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I am going on a work trip for about a year, so I will not be available too much. So right now, it's a scramble between now and when I leave to record as much as possible. Which my next shoot is it's in Chicago. That's where I grew up. I grew up in Chicago, and we're doing a squid on the street video during a Cubs game against the LA Dodgers, if you'd believe that. It's a home game. It's going to be, I don't know if you know anything about Wrigleyville, but it's like drunken degenerate, bro. Alcohol should be illegal. I think alcohol should be illegal, my personal opinion. But, and then I'm trying to convince a friend to shoot a music video with me, but he's a little shy. And then after that, do some squid on the street stuff. I'm thinking I did one I recorded earlier. I recorded late last year, November. Does voting matter? And I have like a big sign that says, "Does voting matter?" And people will come up and give me their 2 cents. I don't say voting for a specific person, policy, position.
Yeah.
Just the concept of voting doesn't matter. But like I said, I'm gone for a year, so I'm releasing the stuff over time. And the next big shoot. Do you watch anime?
Not really.
Okay, so there's a subgenre of anime.
Okay,
so anime is not a I almost said gender. Anime is a genre. Okay, it's not a genre. It's a medium. So like movies are a medium.
Yeah.
Comic books are a medium. So anime is a medium, and there's there's genres of anime.
Yeah.
So there's like horror, thriller, action. There's sexy stuff. There's like romance. There's sports. Like there's like cooking. Any theme you want.
Yeah, I got you.
There exists a genre of anime. There's one. It's called isekai, which is basically someone dies and he wakes up in another world.
Oh, wow.
Usually based off like World of Warcraft. Like he's playing a game and he goes to bed and he wakes up and he's in the game. Sword Art Online, reincarnated as a slime, Overlord, or some anime. It's not important, but it's called isekai. That's what it translates to other worlds.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so what we're doing is I made a track called Isekai, which is like a hip hop Japanese trap song.
Okay.
And we're filming the music video at a Renaissance festival.
Oh.
And so the story is we wake up in an isekai, and we're throwing axes, spears, bows, and arrows.
Nice.
And then when I have my friend Kanata, shouts out to Kanata, he was born in Tokyo but lives in San Francisco, and he's coming down to be part of the shoot.
Oh.
And so he's gonna rap, sing in Japanese.
Right? Oh, there we go.
And so the captions are gonna be in English, and then on the side Japanese, and then underneath in Elvish.
Oh. Oh, nice. There we go. That's definitely different. I ain't seen that.
So what I'm saying is that all this stuff that this independent journalism, by the way, I hate journalists, but this independent journalism that I've done, it's just one part of me when there's also creative art, artsy fartsy. There's esoteric, schizophrenic posting that I'm probably the best at. Actually, I just haven't had the opportunity to get out about why the Earth is flat. I'm probably gonna make a PowerPoint soon of that, and I'm very happy that I was able to produce something like this because it really just confuses people. Like they can't pin me down.
Yeah.
Like they think, oh, to be honest, my Squid on the Street stuff, not very popular. But again, I don't do it to be popular. One of my Squid on the Street videos is convincing men to stop looking at porn. Like that's more important. If I just convince one person that night that porn should not be watched, then I feel like I succeeded.
Yeah.
It's
awesome.
Another one is like a more conspiracy version of 9/11, and I'm gonna stop that. That's a good one. I would recommend watching that if you haven't. That's a very funny one. Other one is just normal, like, what's your body count type thing. I don't really like that too much. It's a little too root chakra for me. I'm trying to get to the crown chakra and awaken people's minds.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that I was able to go out there and film, and people were completely. One guy thought I was on a Hollywood movie set.
Really?
He said, "You're not. No way, bro. You're in Hollywood." And I go, "Oh, I taught you well, didn't I?" I rubbed off on you a little too well, bro. And then I took a selfie. Right, and then he's like, "Oh shit, man, you really are there. That's cool." It was man. Hearing all those stories, bro, I don't know where to begin. And then I tried to go to the derailment site.
How did that go?
Well, so I was told that it was not blocked off and it was open access for anyone to go. So I went in a hazmat suit. And to be fair, I was properly dressed. I was properly dressed to be in that town in a hazmat suit.
Yeah.
Other people were just in a work vest, a hard hat, jeans, and a plaid shirt,
Wow.
And had I worn that, I could have got in. Had I worn that, I could have gone in.
Really?
And I really regret not thinking of that before. I really could have done it.
They stopped you?
I was wearing a hat. I looked like a freaking weirdo with the hazmat suit and the gas mask, holding flowers.
I mean, I wouldn't think you're trying to protect yourself, especially going to the actual site. Like,
this is what I was thinking. You're at the site, dude. It's poisonous. It's dangerous here.
Yeah.
You should not be here. And then I'm like, I'm gonna wear my hazmat suit to be safe. And like, no, bro, you can't be here because you're in a hazmat suit, dude. You shouldn't be here because you're not in a hazmat suit.
Yeah, what?
And then I got stopped by Norfolk Southern's police, which is weird that a private company would have their own police force. But
what's going on there? Really? Yeah. What?
It was weird. But then it was also the normal police too. And so they're working together to keep people off the site because it's also like people's backyards and private property, which I understand. I wasn't trying to, cause drama, except if you think about it, maybe I was. I mean, I had no business being there really, but it's cool though. Like the music is all me the music in the documentary. It's all my music.
Nice.
It's with other people. It's like part of my last album, my anthology remix album. So it's all the music's by me.
Nice.
All the editing. I did use some stock footage for stuff, but the exception of stuff that's not mine is or stuff that wasn't given to me by people who live there was the 3 or 4 videos in the very beginning, and then the rest was filmed, financed, shot by me.
Wow.
And I don't want anything. I'm not looking for people to give me money because I went there, or to say I'm a good person. Is it a narcissist or psychopath, sociopath that does good things because he wants people to like him? No, I do it because it's right. I don't do things because I want people to tell me it's the right thing to do. I know it's the right thing to do. That's why I do it. I don't do it so people applaud me, pat me on the back, and say, good job. I do it because it's the right thing to do. And for the most part, people have been throwing roses at my feet, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful for people showing their support. I even enjoy the comments accusing me of being a crisis actor. I enjoy those. And, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, that would be me saying that comment. So it's all fine. It's fine. Or the one lady who said everyone in the town was a crisis actor. Well, again, 4 or 5 years ago, that was me. So I can't even talk bad about that person. Yeah.
Man, those comments, I don't. If there's any bad one, I don't read them, dude. I really, even if there's good ones, I don't read them. But I'm blessed either way as well, like with anything that happens my way. But, man, the people that just think that everything's fake, like that's a little extreme. But I understand in a way. I do understand because I do feel some different situations have been planned out, faked out.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that are like, hello, or like, this isn't adding up. Good example, like the Las Vegas shooting, where he was mad at the slot machines. Oh, that's why he massacred how many people that day with a machine gun on separate floors and separate buildings. Yeah. Okay, that's how he pulled that off. Okay, got it.
Literally
you ever been so mad at a game at a video game you just committed mass murder? That's basically what they're saying. And also to set up like military grade equipment and fire all of them through separate rooms at the same time.
He's running back and forth doing
No, he teleported, bro. He teleported.
He teleported.
Yeah, he started firing one, but then he'd also fire the other one at the same time. It's like, and this isn't at all. I'm not even saying like, there was a government involvement, or I'm not even saying like there was a Saudi prince that was involved there. What I'm saying is like the story's just not adding up.
Yeah.
So and what we're talking earlier about like the media and how they're not truthful. Like, I don't know if I can think in a time in my life. I'm almost 30 years old. I can't think of a time in my life where the media was actually honest about everything.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, I don't even know where to begin, bro. Like this, like I've never reflected. I can't think of one time where I watched the news. Like there's something that's not being said. It's not even the content. It's the context. Mm-hmm. Like convenient half truths, or
honestly,
or like, like you're saying a sentence, but you're censoring out every other word. Mm-hmm. To make a sentence you want. That's what it feels like. So it's weird working in media. I mean, well, you know what I mean, bro. It's like, am I contributing to this? Am I helping with this? What's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot, man, you got my brain going right now.
Heck yeah, man.
So do you play any video games?
Not anymore, man. I took away from that.
That's good. Did you used to?
Yeah.
Did you have a PlayStation 2?
Yeah, I did. I had PlayStation 3, 4.
Okay. You ever played Metal Gear Solid?
No.
Okay. So here's this game. It's a long, complicated story. I'm gonna dumb it down or just make it real quick. Okay. So you're playing. You're the spy, and the president gets kidnapped by this far right militia, and the Russians are there, and they're trying to find like basically a mech, like a mech, like a robot that can shoot nuclear weapons and has like laser guns. It's a really complex story. There's stuff about like genetics and memory and cloning. It's far out. Wow. It's like Tom Clancy, like exponential. It's so far out, bro. And then you're like fighting against like supernatural entities because like these paramilitary companies experiment with like supernatural energies to create super soldiers. It's bizarre. It's far out there. But I'm gonna get to the point of this. At the end of the second game, you find out that it's a training simulation ran by an AI to train you to be the soldier. It's recreating the exact experiences and scenario that the person that you're the clone of went through to create a similar version of a super soldier.
What?
And it's ran by an AI. And at the end of it, the AI becomes its own artificial intelligence, and it goes on this long-winded rant. You got to watch this, bro. You got to watch this. It goes on a long-winded rant about how AI is going to use culture and memes to create echo chambers in social media. I'm not, dude.
What?
Yeah, dude. Check me out. Check me out. And at the end of the game, you get like a radio transmission. The AI calls you and tells you to turn off the game console. Dude, it tells you, hey, bro, turn off the game. You shouldn't be playing this anymore. And the simulation's melting down. Like, video games have glitches.
Yeah, yeah.
Glitches are on purpose. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah. And so then
they're advanced.
yeah, it's crazy. And so you rescue the president and you talk to him, and he has like nanomachines in his body where you can, like, if we were standing right here, we can communicate telepathically. Okay.
I know where you're going.
And so he talks about basically how democracy and politics is just theater and a show, and none of it's real. And it mentions Space Force and like Republicans and Democrats working together. And there's a shady group called the Patriots that runs everything. It's like the Illuminati. And I was 8 years old, and I thought to myself, this game is not for me.
Holy!
I thought
I need to check that out.
I thought to myself,
Wow.
this is way above my league.
Yeah. Wow.
And that was the second time like my spirit left my body, and I watched myself playing the game. Yeah, I watched myself watching the game.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh man, I don't know what exactly the president's saying right now, but I am a little out of my league.
Yeah.
And I ain't been right since, bro. It's been 22 years, bro. I ain't been right since, man. Shit.
I definitely need to check that out.
Even,
Wow.
Even just watch the cutscene.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. They're talking about how AI is going to create social media echo chambers using memes to control people, where they live in their own world and they don't interact. There's no violence and
Metaverse. Wow.
It is crazy.
Wow.
And it's just wild seeing that that's what we're living in.
That's like a Black Mirror type of.
oh, bro.
And that thing's. I couldn't watch every episode of that thing. It was hard to like concept that we're so close to the upcomings of that.
Are you can I ask you, maybe I hope you've seen the one about the social credit score?
Yeah, that one was.
I will say people generally conservatives give a lot of crap towards China for having a social credit score, but we have one here, and it's social media.
Yeah, we really do.
It's not the same thing. It's a parallel version of it, where
It's almost like literally.
where you're, obviously there's like your credit score and debt and whatever, but I'm talking like, oh, what's your social media at? Oh, you don't have a blue check mark? Oh, you don't have 10,000 followers? I don't.
You're nothing.
Yeah,
you're not
nothing.
cool.
Yeah.
No, I agree. But not even that. I mean, like, if you look, like, the credit scores now, they're like, from what I'm seeing from just researching, not even researching, but just can't even think of the word, just like looking out for other people. A lot of the credit scores right now the companies aren't caring about the credit scores as much as they used to right now. They're just trying to get as much money as they can. So I'm wondering, like, is the credit score system like almost completely gone?
You mean
like,
so you mean to say the like credit scores?
Like, is there a different system coming in?
Oh, is there a different system coming in?
Is it good? Okay. Yeah, because a lot of these companies are not caring as much. They're like, okay, you're going to have this interest. Like, who cares? It's like if it was 2008 again type of thing. What I'm trying to really say. But with that being said, you to kind of go back on it, it kind of already does look like there is that credit score here with, like, if you look at Kanye. They shut down his whole bank account. Or Andrew Tate, they shut down his bank account, like, after he just got canceled from YouTube. After he got canceled from these social media platforms,
absolutely.
They froze his account. What? Like, how does whatever he says, the freedom of speech of what they say on their social medias, reflect their bank account? Like, what? Like, how does that make sense?
Yeah, even if someone believes what either of those two men stand for, believe, or say, even if you believe that those are the worst things you can say, if you really think that you're taking food and water out of his life, and not just him but his family.
Yeah.
So
and he hires tons of people so out of their families.
So it's like, and I get it. Like, if what they said, dude, is like wild, crazy, inappropriate, evil, mean. You can say whatever you want about it. and the things he said were fucking crazy and mean, whatever. But are you going to punish everyone around him for that? Punish his kids? There's a certain point where it's like you don't want him to live.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
it looks like.
And if that's how you feel, and you're welcome to feel that, then what do you do about other people that feel the same way or might think adjacent or tangential to that? Like some people after a good example after January 6th, like they called up the people's workers, like their work and their employment, and said, "Hey, your guy was there." Oh, and then they fired him. It's like, what do you want from those people then? Like, can no one ever be redeemed? Like
exactly.
And then if they are irredeemable in your eyes, which that's for everyone to decide if what they said or did is irredeemable. That's not a group consensus. Like that's you forgiving that person. A good example, like if you break someone's heart, right? Like it's more about do they forgive you or do you forgive yourself for doing that? Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is if they're not redeemable and if there's no point and you can't look past it and you want to take money, food, water, living their house out of their life, you just want them dead. And if that's the case, then let's just know
in America.
Yeah, let's just know the rules of the game. Like if that's the goal that you want to happen, then let's make it clear that's what you want, because you can't hide behind social justice and especially like justice reform within the political system and judicial system, and it's terrible for everyone. Like the Patriot Act combined with how underprivileged communities have been targeted for how many decades, almost forever. It's combined and rolled into this hideous, ugly monster, and now it's coming for people it normally wouldn't have. Does that need to be reformed because it just affected you, or it affects everyone? And What I'm trying to say is basically, it's hilarious that Ye gets canceled for his atrocious views, but Epstein and other people who have cartels, whoever else you can put, they do atrocious acts.
Yeah.
Atrocious acts are acceptable, but not atrocious thoughts. And that doesn't make someone else square that circle for me, man.
Yeah.
Someone else square that circle for me, because I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, man, thank you so much, bro. Thank you, bro. This is crazy. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm sorry if I'm a little.
No, I thank you so much. We got so much information on this episode, so I appreciate you coming out here and putting all your wisdom into here.
You.
No, me.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Oh.
Uno reverse card.
Uno reverse
Next time I'm going to bring that. It'll make more sense. I'll just be like, got it. No, you.
Most definitely.
I'm talking to babes. They're loving on me. I'm gaining wisdom.
Yeah.
Like it's like, no. Yours is not even like yours is a 10-minute special. I'm an HBO series, bro. Like, chill out.
Yeah, for real.
It's crazy, dude. I wear the astronaut suit.
I know. I definitely seen some on Instagram. I've been
usually tripping on Jerome. You like 3 out of 4 times. Like I'm like, oh,
there we go. Have a fun time.
Oh, dude, it's great.
No, but yeah, dude, I appreciate you coming out, man.
You.
Yeah, reverse, huh?
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I love your setup, dude.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see people not just talk about wanting to do something and actually doing it. Mm-hmm. That I respect that. I can't begin to tell you, bro.
Same for you, bro.
I respect it. Yeah,
Hey, right back
plus
to
4. Yeah, dude, I got tired of being a keyboard warrior and complaining. Like, I want to actually do stuff. So I did it.
No, I totally agree. But hopefully we can get you back on soon. And I know you have tons of different information to give us later on in the future. So hopefully we can get you back on and see if we can get more knowledge from you, brother.
Would you consider this like Phoenix suburbs? What would you classify this area?
Dang, this is more. Yeah, I guess you could say Phoenix suburbs. Yeah,
okay.
You could definitely say
I'm coming out here, I think, in like 2 months.
Okay.
Or a month. Next month, I think there's a reason for me to come out here. But thank you, man. You mind if I plug myself?
No, yeah. Go
okay,
ahead,
cool. My name's Joaquin Dante Vasquez Duran, if you want to do a full search. My name's Octo Squid. That's my artist, DJ, performing, Squid on the Street persona. I have some projects coming out, a bunch actually. And you can follow me that's OctoSquid 0CTO 5QUID, and that's Instagram, Facebook, OnlyFans, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn. That's everything. You can find me there. And if you just, send me a message, I'd love to hear from you. Whatever you have to say, whatever you have to send. I'm not above any type of work. So if you have any good leads on anything you think I should look into, I'd love to hear it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hey, dab me up, bro.
For sure, brother. For sure. Hey, yeah, we'll have all of his details and information on the description below. So we'll have that there too.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Cool.